Rated RP2M. Get the bundle now.
So I don't know if you know, I'm here with the miserable liberal and Ron Placone. Hi, Ron Placone.
Howdy.
I almost said your name right.
It's a mouthful.
So, I don't know if you know it, but the Democrats are launching some kind of program that's for Democrats to learn how to talk to regular people. You hear about that? Have you heard about that? Yeah, we're going to cover that in another video, but that's not the point. The point of this is that Nancy Pelosi was on CNN, and they're doing a town hall, and she's taking questions, which I would advise Nancy Pelosi to never do that. Her phoniness flies right off her. You ever see Nancy Pelosi talk in public? What do you guys think of it?
It always seems like she's taken off guard, uncomfortable.
Yes.
And she's going to have to communicate an idea, but the whole idea will eventually come out.
I don't think people want her to change.
I think So watch this guy ask a question. This is Trevor Hill. He's a college student, and he's at the Nancy Pelosi town hall. And first he actually apologizes for not asking a softball question. That's how bad our journalism is. Even regular people know that it's impolite to ask a tough question of a politician.
What I've seen on NYU's campus and what I've seen in polls all over, in CNN even, a Harvard University poll last May showed...
Steph, do your impression of her right now. No, it's more like... Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm just saying.
I know.
You can't even look human while you're listening to a question. She looks like she's got she looks like she's got a thorn in her shoe. What do you got a pebble in your shoe?
She looks like she's late for something.
Yeah.
She's like, I got somewhere to be.
Even her listening face.
That people between the ages of 18 and 29, not just Democrats, not just leftists, 51% of people between 18 and 29 no longer support the system of capitalism. That's not me asking you to make a radical statement about capitalism, but I'm just telling you that my experience is that the younger generation is moving left on economic issues. And I've been so excited to see how Democrats have moved left on social issues. As a gay man, I've been very proud to see you fighting for our rights and for many Democratic leaders fighting for our rights. But I wonder if there's anywhere you feel that the Democrats could move farther left to a more populist message, the way the alt-right has sort of captured this populist strain on the right wing, if you think we could make a more stark contrast to right-wing economics.
Well, I thank you for your question, but I have to say we're capitalist, and that's just the way it is. However, we do think that capitalism is not necessarily meeting the needs with the income inequality that we have in our country. And let me just tell you this. I don't know how much time we have.
What was the... Why are you giggling over a guy who's giving you a piece of information about, hey, you know that most of the people, most of the young people in your party, don't trust the system? They think the system's broken? And her tin air response is, believe me, boy, she dismissed that quicker than the DNC dismissed the fucking public option. Am I right?
Yeah. But also, isn't it the whole thing that we've talked about before? Having a democracy and having capitalism aren't necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, people often make the mistake of equating capitalism with democracy. So you'll hear, like, look at all the shopping. You could get Burger King and KFC and all this stuff, and capitalism doesn't equal. They do a lot of capitalism in China. That doesn't equal democracy. Capitalism is capitalism. It's got nothing to do with democracy. You can have capitalism inside of a communist state. You can have capitalism inside of a dictatorship. You can have capitalism. Democracy does not equal capitalism, and that's the big mistake people make. Go ahead, Steph.
I just want to say also that I think what the young man was saying was, why are Democrats such corporate tools? Like, that's what I was hoping that he would come out. Why are you representing the needs of the corporations, and not the people? Because when he's telling you that 18 to 29, 30-year-olds no longer support capitalist system, he's saying it's not working out. 50% of the country is struggling. It's not working out. What's your plan for us?
And her plan is to giggle like an idiot. That was like an idiot. How much time do we have? Oh my! Her physical reaction to that question tells you all you need to know. Oh my God, it's odd that a congressperson worth $35 million wouldn't be critical of capitalism. That is so weird.
Yeah, not just that, but it's like when you just say a blanket statement, like we're capitalists. A guy asked a great question, right? He asked a complex, fair question, and she gave a blanketed, lazy answer. And you know what? You know how he should have ended his question? He was like, I think if you actually followed this advice, you might do something you're not very good at as of recent. Win something.
Well, under Nancy Pelosi's leadership, in 2010, the Democrats lost 63 seats. And in 2014, they got wiped out again, giving the Republicans their biggest majority in 80 years. So clearly, she's doing something right. I mean, that answer is disgusting. That's like, this is what she does for a living. She talks to people for a living. She's supposed to talk to voters for a living. And there's some, I know she's, 76 years old? But she acted like she just got hatched out of an egg 2 seconds ago. She's like, oh my God, That's like Paul Ryan when the guy asked him about repealing Obamacare because he would have been dead without it because he had cancer. And Paul Ryan immediately goes, well, I'm glad you're alive. We're really glad you're still. Let's laugh. Let's find a way to laugh and get out of this question. Nancy Pelosi is such a shitty leader. She couldn't lead herself out of that question. She's led the House Democrats since 2002, and they are wiped out. Coast to coast, the Democrats are wiped out, especially in the House. Wiped out. So,
but the Dems got rid of her, right? Like, she's no longer in a position of power, right?
They immediately snapped into action and re-elected her leader in the House. So,
there's no need to change anything, Steph. They're doing fine. Stay the course.
Stay the course.
I'm sorry, how much time do I have?
So the Democratic Party decided they needed change, and they decided to change everything by keeping everything exactly the same. So, what an answer. That's a great question, and her answer, just talk about out of touch, everything you can, tone deaf, tin-eared, the whole thing. I mean, if there was, that's the video that shows you how out of touch they are. Like, she didn't even, I don't know, anything. I mean, and these are the people I'm supposed to vote for. The people will wag their finger at me if I don't vote for this. By the way, if she was in the Senate, you know she'd vote to confirm every one of those goddamn cabinet picks. You know that. But still get mad at comedians and third-party people while the Democrats confirm the swamp. And she can't even answer a straight question without fucking giggling like an idiot. What are you giggling about? How much time do we have? Because I don't want to answer this goddamn question. I'm worth $35 million. I'm not going to be critical of the system that got me.
I don't even remember his last three sentences. We're capitalists.
Yes.
Let's watch her answer again, shall we?
But I have to say we're capitalist, and that's just the way it is. However, we do.
That's just the way. I know. That's the system that's rendered half the country poor, and you're unable to afford your medicine, and you're a college student, so you're already piled on with massive amounts of debt that you'll never be able to claw out from underneath it. And Barack Obama just bailed out an equity firm that's going to make your barrier to entry to buying a first-time house is going to be way worse. So, okay, so here she goes.
Think that capitalism is not necessarily meeting the needs with the income inequality that
it's not necessarily not What kind of mumble mouth bullshit? It's not, capitalism isn't necessarily meaning. Half your country, in the richest country in the world, is poor. Half the country is poor. And you don't, all the frickin' jobs created are these shitty part-time jobs with no benefit, but maybe necessarily. Necessarily, it's working out for me and my millionaire friends, because I don't know if you know, I'm a millionaire. And that's why I should be the leader of the people's house. The leader of the people's house should be an out-of-touch millionaire. I think everybody knows that. Here we go. Watch how she giggles like a jackass over nothing.
We have in our country, and let me just tell you this. I don't know how much time we have. About
I know there's some income inequality because we crush the union because we're capitalists.
We're the capitalists. We don't stand up for workers or unions or anything. We just
but I have to say we're capitalists, and that's just the way it is. However, we do think that capitalism is not necessarily meeting the needs with the income inequality that we have in our country. And let me just tell you this. I don't know how much time we have.
And then she goes on to talk about how CEOs... Here, I'll show you what she goes on to
40 years ago, a little bit more now, no less a person in terms of capitalism than the chairman of the Standard Oil of New Jersey said. And he talked about stakeholder capitalism. Capitalism that said when we make decisions as management...
So just be aware of who she's quoting. She's quoting the former head of Standard Oil right now. And in response to a guy who said, I don't trust the system, the capitalist system anymore. And she says, first of all, we're capitalists, just dismiss you, shut up. And second of all, I'm going to quote a guy who used to run an oil company. That's what she's literally doing. Ready? Here we go.
CEOs of the country, we take into consideration our shareholders, our management, our workers, our customers, and the community at large.
In that order.
At that time, the disparity between the CEO and the worker was about 40 times. 40 times more for the CEO than the worker. As productivity rose, the pay of the worker rose, and the pay of the CEO rose. Everything rose together. Around 20 years ago, it started to turn into, maybe 15, 20 years ago, it started to turn into shareholder capitalism.
Oh, you mean right about the time when Bill and Hillary Clinton repealed the New Deal banking regulations? Failed to enforce any of the antitrust laws? I mean, it was right around 20 years ago. That would be right around Bill Clinton when he got reelected, right? That would be right around then? When they gutted welfare, passed NAFTA, and exploded the prison population while deregulating all of the TV company, all the communication companies. Now we have 6 huge corporations that run all our media. Was that right around then? 20 years ago? You mean that 20 years ago?
Yeah, but it's coincidental. I was answering for her, but did I do it right?
We're strictly talking about the quarterly report. So a CEO would make much more money by keeping pay low, even though productivity is rising. The worker's not getting any more pay.
We're screwing
and the CEO's getting a big pay because he's kept costs low by depriving workers of their share of the productivity that they created. And as I call it, a right angle going in the wrong direction. The disparity between the...
She has no... And so, so now look, we should be angry at the CEOs, I guess. And I guess you, as the leader of the House of Representatives of millionaires, you have no power. You have no ideas on how to fix that. All she can do is say, this CEO is bad and that, their productivity, so it's funny that she actually knows. And then she does nothing to try to fix it. She has no ideas on how to fix this, nothing to rein in. Nothing. No. Were you out there? What about Occupy Wall Street? Did you help unions? What about in Wisconsin? Did you go? No. Did you guys get card check? Remember when the Democrats had the complete control of government? Did you give card check to the unions, making it easier for unions to get started? Did you do that? No. What did you do? You bailed out Wall Street, fucked over homeowners, cracked the heads of peaceful protesters at Occupy Wall Street. You turned your back on the teachers in Wisconsin. You gave us a right-wing health care plan that we would have got anyway. What did you do? What is your plan? She has no plan. This is the woman, by the way, she doesn't. You know how I know she doesn't have a plan? Because she said so on CBS. She said, I don't think people want the Democrats to change direction.
I want to say bravo to this college kid, because like listening to like this answer, I would have raised my hand if I was that kid. I'd be like, look, I'm a college kid. I read Das Kapital as early as last year. You're trying to give me an economic lesson right now, and you're embarrassing yourself. I want to know what you're going to do policy-wise. Answer my question.
Okay, watch my hand.
Watch those hands. So there you go. But it's much easier to be angry at people with no money and no power, like me or the Green Party or anyone else who tells the truth about how horrible our government is.
So, I'm just so curious, like, at any point during this segment, does she start talking about the rights of the workers and that there should be paid a livable wage? That would also include health care? Did
that
she
we
go
should have
on to
single
talk
payer
about
health care? Did she go? I don't know. She didn't mention single payer health care. That it should be a right, or that we should have to fight for 15 years. None of that stuff. Isn't that interesting? So there you go. There's your resistance. There's your resistance. Someone else's fault. It's not mine. That's a right angle. That leaves us all wrong.
The CEOs just didn't share. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go down to the CEOs and go, cut it out. Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is February 20th. That's a Monday night in Burbank, California at Flappers Comedy Club. That's February 20th, Monday night. They've been selling out 2 weeks ahead of time, so get your tickets. There's a link for tickets right there. See you February 20th in Burbank, California.